You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We're a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. A lot to celebrate today for those of us that have beaten anorexia. I am not going to talk about Galentine's Day today. I told Josh I wasn't going to talk about it. It's the day before Valentine's Day. Girls celebrating that special girlfriend. Okay. Fastnacht, I think is the way you say it. Is it Fastnacht? That's the day before Ash Wednesday. Okay. Maybe I ought to get a plane and go to New Orleans. Paxki Day. I don't even know how to say that one, but it looks good. It's you take a look at that. Looks like a donut of some sort here. Let's take a look further and see what it is. A donut, jelly-filled. It's a sweetest holiday, the day before Ash Wednesday, a Polish tradition of indulging in fried dough filled with jams, custard, or other sweet surprises going back to the Middle Ages. Looks like a donut. You know something? Even whatever it is, it looks good. I think I would celebrate that one. So, Paxi Day. What else do we have here? Cheddar Day. Okay, my grandson loves cheddar cheese. Of course, he likes all kinds of cheese. I don't know about this one either, Josh. Today's Fat Tuesday. I look at it, I'm fat on Tuesday, I'm fat on Wednesday, I'm fat on Thursday, Friday. But I've beaten anorexia, so that's okay. Let's see. Again, National Pancake Day. Why is it Pancake Day today? Well, maybe we'll have to go to IHOP and see what's going on. Maybe IHOP is the one that created National Pancake Day. And I love Italian food. The bride doesn't as much. Today's National Tortellini Day. Where do you get good tortellinis? I can eat my way through the entire day today without having any problem at all. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the market. I don't know if we want to see what's going on in the market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 462 points. S&P 500 is down 60. The NASDAQ is down 230. Oil up 99 cents a barrel. And the 10-year Treasury, 4.278. That is not good news. And I'll explain that in the mortgage minute. But all of it has to do with a weak CPI number that came out today. It was not exactly what the markets were hoping for. Scared the markets off, but I'll get to that as well. Let's see what we've got going. I love watching some of these things that come out. We get all kinds of reports all the time. So today I saw in the Washington Post, something.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Giving roses on Valentine's Day or any day is a bad idea, according to the Washington Post. So, guys, if you didn't get the roses this year, you can go and just reference the Washington Post article. Although I'm going to share with you, I don't know about this garbage that comes out of the Washington Post. 80% of flowers sold in the U.S. are imported, mostly from Colombia and Ecuador. A rose takes up to 15 weeks to grow, but as soon as it is cut, a precisely coordinated race begins. Keep them fresh and chilled in dormant state, and then moved to airports in refrigerated trucks. Not good for the environment, they say. At the airports, they're loaded on a plane bound for the U.S. Again, tough on the environment. During the weeks prior to February 14th, more than 30 flights will move flowers from Colombia to Miami every day. About 4 hours later, the roses land in Miami. They're moved into chilled warehouses, inspected by U.S. Customs, loaded on refrigerated trucks for delivery across the U.S. When the roses arrive in stores, as little as 48 hours have passed since they were picked. So the bottom line is it's problematic having roses because they move in refrigerated trucks and on airplanes.
It is what it is.
Let's move along and see what else is going on. The Super Bowl. The numbers? I'm sorry, I got to say the big game. Did you see the numbers for the big game? 123.4 million people watched the Super Bowl this year. 123.4 million people, the largest viewership since the moon landing in 1969. What do you think caused the viewership? Oh, maybe it's the Taylor effect. I don't know. Legal betting out there in Vegas, where you are, Josh. $185.6 million bet just in Nevada. 185.6. That's a pretty staggering number. I think there was 4 or 5 bets that were $1 million or more just on single bets. That doesn't take into account anything that went on some of the other, the other sites, the gambling sites or the illegal betting. Not that anybody would do that. 185.6 million just in Nevada. So that's another fascinating one. We'll watch and see. Do you like the betting on the games? Do you like all that betting? I'm going to say no. I don't like having all the betting commercials just because I believe that young people are watching the game. They want young people to watch the game, and then they put these stupid things on there that young people shouldn't be watching. Maybe I'm old, but I don't think I really don't want to see my grandkids or my grandson now watching about gambling. We've got enough bad gambling habits in the family as it is. I don't know whether it's true or not because 23andMe wasn't around long enough ago. But Uncle Bugsy, he might have indulged a little bit, not sure. But I do know I have family that have had gambling problems, have spent time as a member or a guest of the state for gambling. So I'm not a big fan of having all this gambling stuff out there being broadcast on TV shows and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. Jim Norton, WAPO said not to get you roses for V-Day. Okay, yeah, thank you for sharing that, Jim Norton. I'm glad you're with us this morning. I don't know why that post didn't go up there. There we go. Now we got it in there. We got a lot going on this morning. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. Home equity can be a big game changer when you sell. Why a pre-approval is even more important this year. We may finally get to it. ABLE accounts offer tax benefits and more to people with disabilities. We're going to definitely talk about that one today. Should you ditch a credit card if you start losing perks? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down, sure. We might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or APR. They tell us they calculate the actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. What did rates do yesterday? 30-year conforming loans, they locked at 6.723. Jumbo loans, 7.125. FHA loans, 6.534. USDA loans, generally the rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.567. And in my opinion, the best loan on the market for those that earned it, the 30-year VA loan, 6.409. If you want our market commentary, we put that out every morning, every business day morning, as early as the data allows. rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. Get a free email. It's 2 to 3 pages long. It's big type because I can't see. But we put that out there, and you can get that sent right to your email box every morning, rsrmarketminute.com. That's the data from yesterday. What's going on today? Well, the S&P 500 is down 60.53. And we're going to look at the 10-year Treasury right now, if my computer will update, up 11 basis points, 4.28. Mortgage-backed securities are down 38 basis points. When the mortgage bond goes down, that means interest rates go up. The bond is down 38 basis points right now. Why? Well, it all has to do with disappointing numbers in the CPI, Consumer Price Index. So we got the January CPI report, showed that overall inflation rose 0.3% for the month, which was 1/10 hotter than estimates. Year over year, inflation decreased from 3.4 to 3.1%, but the market was expecting this figure to come in lower at 3%. Figure that one out. So the inflation was up 0.3%, a little bit more than what the market expected. But it was down from where it was last year. Inflation is down 10% from where it was last year, and the market tanks. Core rate strips out food and energy prices for those that don't need it, increased by 0.4%, which was also 1/10 hotter than expected. Year over year, core CPI remained at 3.9%. Again, estimates were at 3.8%. Overall, inflation was hotter than the market estimates and pressured the bond prices to go lower. So let's see what helped and hurt. Energy prices fell 0.9%, with gas down 3.3%. Used car prices fell 3.4%. That helped inflation. And I do note there that since 2021, this is why no matter what the media tells you, no matter what the politicians tell you, food prices are up 34%. Energy prices are up 33% since 2021. What's helping the working class people get around that? Our wages are not up anywhere near those numbers. And if we're living, which we are, paycheck to paycheck, well, you look at it and say food up 34%. It's hard to keep thinking that, the economy is working for everybody. Shelter costs make up 44% of the core index, rose 0.6%, hotter than expected. Shelter is now up 6% year over year, down from 6.2. Rents rose 0.4% last month and are up 6.1% year over year, down from 6.5 the previous report. Owner's equivalent rent, which tries to capture the increase in home ownership costs, rose 0.6%, and is up 6.2 year over year, down from 6.3. And the volatile lodging away from home figure rose 1.8% and is an X factor that hurt us. Rents should be coming in lower than the 0.4%, and the owner equivalent rent should definitely be lower than 0.6%, as we've been seeing real-time figures cool significantly. It's frustrating, head scratcher, and eventually the numbers are going to catch up. Motor vehicle insurance makes up 3.6% of core inflation reading, rose 1.4%, and continues to work against us. This has been impacted by natural disasters, flooding, car theft, which is at a 15-year high. These are the things that the Fed cannot impact by hiking interest rates. Health insurance rose 1.4%, and because of the new way they're calculating it, it's been helping to the inflation previously, but now will be a slight headwind as it makes up 0.7% of core index. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Index reported that small business optimism fell from 91.9 to 89.9 in January, lowest reading in 9 months. Biggest problems businesses reported were quality of labor and inflation. Look at the components. Employment plans to increase employment fell 2 points to 14%. Following that, only 14% of employers are planning on creating new jobs over the next quarter, the lowest level since October of 2016, excluding COVID. Job openings fell 1 point as well. Economic outlook, those who expect real sales to improve, fell 12 points and expect economy to improve fell 2 points. So I got some big challenges looking at the employment optimism or the small business optimism. Remember, small businesses are a major, major part of our economy. They employ, that's where the big jobs are, the big employment jobs. And the labor and inflation, again, those are the big issues right there. People cannot keep up. And think about this. Then you get another overnight when nobody is watching. The Senate passes a bill for another, $90 billion in spending. And they can't find anywhere in the government to offset that. When you've got a budget in the trillions, why can't they figure out how to offset some of that at least? Adding more money to the economy just means that we're going to add more inflation coming from the United States Senate. We'll see what happens in the House of Representatives. If they even take it up, we will see. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Been trying to get to this report for a few days now because it is something that is very, very passionate to me. I feel strongly about dealing with or doing whatever we can to help those folks with disabilities. Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Able accounts offer tax benefits and more to people with disabilities. If you or someone you know has a disability, you want to learn about ABLE accounts, ABLE accounts. These tax advantage savings and investment accounts were created specifically for people with disabilities. And in addition to offering tax benefits, ABLE accounts allow account holders to build wealth and financial security without losing access to means-tested benefits such as Supplemental Security Income, SSI, and Medicaid. What is an ABLE account? ABLE accounts are savings and investment accounts for people with disabilities. The Achieving a Better Life Experience, ABLE Act of 2014, created ABLE accounts, which are a type of a 529A plan, similar to 529 college savings plans. Each eligible person, account owner or beneficiary, can have one ABLE account, but anyone can contribute to the account on the beneficiary's behalf. These accounts can be helpful for people with disabilities who want to accumulate savings without losing access to means-tested benefits. That'd be public benefits that depend in part on someone's income or resources. Then they can be helpful for parents, family members, and friends who want to support a loved one with a disability. 6 ABLE account advantages. ABLE accounts offer several significant benefits you won't receive with other savings, investment, tax advantage accounts. Number 1, The first $100,000 in the account won't affect SSI eligibility. Generally, SSI beneficiaries won't be eligible for the benefit once they have more than $2,000 or $3,000 for married couples in countable assets. However, the first $100,000 in an ABLE account does not count toward the beneficiary's assets. Number 2, higher account balances also won't limit other benefits. ABLE account contributions and balances also won't affect the beneficiary's eligibility for other benefits such as housing assistance, SNAP, and Medicaid. The maximum account limit depends on the ABLE program you choose and could be over $500,000. Number 3, contribute at least $18,000 in 2024. Anyone can contribute to an ABLE account, but the total annual contribution limit for an ABLE account is based on the IRS's annual gift tax exclusion amount, which increased to $18,000 in 2024. ABLE account owners who work and don't contribute to an employer-sponsored retirement plan may be able to contribute additional money to their account each year. Number 4, tax benefits for contributions. Although contributions to ABLE accounts are not tax deductible on the federal level, they might qualify for state tax credits or deductions. The beneficiary also may be able to claim the saver's credit for contributions to their plan. Number 5, tax-free wealth building. You can earn interest on your savings and invest the money in an ABLE account. Similar to other types of tax advantage accounts, such as retirement accounts, the money in the account can grow tax-free. Number 6, tax-free withdrawals. Withdrawals from ABLE accounts are also tax-free and do not count as income if the beneficiary uses the money for a qualified disability expense. These can include a wide range of expenses that are related to living with a disability, including housing, food, education, transportation, and healthcare. Non-qualified withdrawals may count as income and be subject to a 10% penalty. So how do you qualify for an ABLE account? The beneficiary must meet 2 criteria to qualify for an ABLE account. The age of onset for the disability was before 26, although the recipient can be any age. The age of onset for the disability must be younger than 26. However, starting in 2026, the minimum age of onset will increase to 45, a change that will make approximately 6 million people newly eligible for ABLE accounts and receive SSI or SSDI benefits if the person also receives SSI or Social Security Disability Insurance benefits. They are eligible for an ABLE account or self-certify eligibility. If the beneficiary doesn't receive SSI or SSDI, they may still qualify if they are blind or have severe functional limitations based on Social Security Administration's definition and have a written and signed diagnosis from a licensed and eligible healthcare professional. How do you open an ABLE account? ABLE accounts are part of the state-sponsored programs, and states often create websites where you can enroll and manage the account. You don't have to open an account with your state's program. Some states make their program available to non-residents, and a few states don't have ABLE accounts. However, your contributions must qualify you for a state income tax deduction if you use your state's program. You also may be able to transfer accounts between state programs, but beneficiaries can only have one ABLE account at a time. The ABLE National Resource Center, which was founded by the National Disability Institute, NDI, in 2015, has a state comparison tool that you can use to get a side-by-side comparison of programs from up to 3 states. In addition to the potential tax implications, review the state's different investment options, fees, and features. That is the Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. When we come back, home equity can be a game changer when you sell. Should you ditch a credit card if you start losing perks? And more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Home equity can be a game changer when you sell. Are you on the fence about selling your house? While affordability is improving this year, it's still tight, and that may be on your mind, but understanding your home equity could be the key to making your decision easier. An article from Bankrate explains, quote, home equity is the difference between your home's value and the amount you still owe on your mortgage. It represents the paid-off portion of your home. You'll start off with a certain level of equity when you make your down payment to buy the home, then continue to build equity as you pay down your mortgage. You'll also build equity over time as your home's value increases, unquote. We have a tool for you, rsrhomeequity.com, rsrhomeequity.com, and you can go ahead and fill out a little form on there. It's just a quickie. Takes about 30 seconds. rsrhomeequity.com, and we'll tell you what your equity position is once you fill that out. Think of equity as a simple math equation. It's the value of your home now minus what you owe on your mortgage. And guess what? Recently, your equity has probably grown more than you think. In the past few years, home prices skyrocketed, which means your home's value and your equity likely shot up too. So you may have more equity than you realize. How to make the most of your home equity right now? If you're thinking about moving, the equity you have in your home could be a big help. According to CoreLogic, quote, the average U.S. homeowner with a mortgage still has more than $300,000 in equity, unquote. Clearly, homeowners have a lot of equity right now, and the latest data from Census and Adam shows over 2/3 of homeowners have either completely paid off their mortgages or have at least 50% equity in their property. That means, I think we have a chart there for that as well that show, you've got it if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed. You're seeing that chart of all that equity that's sitting there. Means roughly 70% have a tremendous amount of equity right now. After you sell your house, you can use your equity to help you buy your next home. You can be an all-cash buyer if you've been living in your current home for a long time. You might have enough equity to buy your next home without having to take out a loan. If that's the case, you won't need to borrow any money or worry about mortgage rates. Investopedia states, quote, you may want to pay cash for your home if you're shopping in a competitive housing market or if you'd like to save money on mortgage interest. It could help you close a deal and beat out other buyers, unquote. Now, if you want to know how to beat out other buyers, rsrperfectoffer.com, rsrperfectoffer.com. I think that's the site that we set up for that, rsrperfectoffer.com. Make a larger down payment. Your equity could also be used toward your next down payment. It might even be enough to let you put a larger amount down so you won't have to borrow as much. The Mortgage Reports explains, quote, borrowers who put down more money typically receive better interest rates from lenders. This is due to the fact that a larger down payment lowers the lender's risk because the borrower has more equity in the home from the beginning, unquote. Easiest way to find out how much equity you have. To find out how much equity you have, ask a real estate agent. Give us a call for a professional equity analysis, rsrhomeequity.com, rsrhomeequity.com. That's a great place to start with it. And you may find out, this ties into what we've talked about many, many times. get debt free, rsrdebtfree.com, and RSR two-step. What is the RSR two-step? And I'll tell you, that's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. RSR two-step, what is it? Well, basically, it looks at it, says, something, interest rates, even though they're really at what we would call basically a normal rate right now, they're at a rate that's really more in what's normal historically over 50 years. I know we've gotten spoiled over the last 10, 12, 15 years in seeing rates in the 2s, 3s, 4s, maybe even 5. But about 7.18, I believe, is the historical average. But let's talk about this. What is your blended household interest rate? I consulted somebody just the other day, and they wanted to know, they've got a 5% mortgage, and they need about $100,000. They're looking at doing a home equity line of credit. Those are generally based on what the prime rate is. Well, prime rate right now, I think, is like 8.5. When you look at what the blended household interest rate is, it's closer to 7. So we look at that and we say, okay, what if we take some of the equity out of your property, pay off the debts that you have now, and save you money? Now, why do I call it a two-step? Well, because whenever you do a cash out refinance, there's an extra fee for doing a cash out refinance. It's one of what they call a loan level price adjustment, and there is a fee for cash out. So what you do with that now is you look at it and you say, okay, I'm going to do that right now because it's smart business for me. I'm going to get now, not if you're going to pay off your credit cards, you're going to pay off all the debts that you build into this, but don't rack them up again. If you don't have the control of yourself to not rack them up, it's not a good idea. But if you've got the control, self-control, not to go and re-spend all that money, well, you're going to save money. Your new mortgage payment will be less than the consolidated payments you have. Step 2, if and when interest rates come down, we should see a better credit score if you didn't run up your credit cards again. And we should see a removal of that loan level price adjustment when you restructure the loan. You're going to wait 6 to 12 months. We should see interest rates. I would forecast that they'll be a little lower than they are today. We got to make sure you can afford it today. That's the first thing. But then if you can afford them later, that's the two-step. You restructure the loan again and save more money. If you want more information on it, rsr2step.com. rsr2step.com. Just throwing that out there for you. See if we can help you out a little bit. So speaking of that, then let's do a real-time real estate brought to you by rsrmoney.com. If you're thinking about using the equity to buy a new home, what do you need to do? Well, get pre-approved, or our friends over at Geneva Financial will get you pre-underwritten. On the California Residential Purchase Agreement, there now is a box for you to check, or for your real estate agent to check, saying that you've been pre-underwritten. If you've been pre-underwritten, it's almost like a same as cash loan. The pre-underwrite is going to tell the seller, not only have you as a loan officer looked at this file, but an underwriter has looked at it and signed off on it as well. So let's talk about this. If you're on the road to becoming a homeowner, if so, you may have heard the term pre-approval get tossed around. Let's break down what it is and why it's important if you're looking to buy a home in 2024. What pre-approval is. As part of the home buying process, your lender will look at your finances to figure out what they're willing to loan you. According to Investopedia, this includes things like your W-2, tax returns, credit score, bank statements, and more. From there, they'll give you a pre-approval letter to help you understand how much money you can borrow. Freddie Mac explains it like this, quote, "A pre-approval is an indication from your lender that they're willing to lend you a certain amount of money to buy your future home. Keep in mind that the loan amount in the pre-approval letter is the lender's offer. Ultimately, you should only borrow an amount you are comfortable repaying," unquote. Now, the last piece is essentially important. While home affordability is getting tighter or better, it's still tight. So getting a good idea of what you can borrow can help you really wrap your head around the financial side of things. It doesn't mean you should borrow the full amount. It just tells you what you can borrow from that lender. This sets you up to make an informed decision about your numbers. That way you're able to tailor your home search to what you're actually comfortable with budget-wise and can act fast as when you find a home you love. Why pre-approval is so important in 2024? If you want to buy a home this year, there's another reason you're going to want to be sure you're working with a trusted lender to make this a priority. While more homes are being listed for sale, the overall number of available homes is still below the norm. At the same time, the recent downward trend in mortgage rates compared to last year is bringing more buyers back into the market. The imbalance of more demand than supply creates a bit of a tug of war for you. It means you'll likely find you have more competition from other buyers as more and more people who were sitting on the sidelines when mortgage rates were high decide to jump back in. But pre-approval can help with that too. Pre-approval shows sellers you mean business because you've already undergone a credit and financial check. As Greg McBride, Chief Financial Analyst at Bankrate, says, quote, pre-approval carries more weight because it means lenders have actually done more than a cursory review of your credit and your finances, but have instead reviewed your pay stubs, tax returns, and bank statements. A pre-approval means you've cleared the hurdles necessary to be pre-approved for a mortgage up to a certain amount, unquote. Again, you've got pre-qualification, pre-approval, pre-underwrite. Pre-underwrite is the best one. Sellers love that because that makes it more likely the sale will move forward without unexpected delays or issues. And if you may be competing with another buyer to land your dream home, why wouldn't you do this to help stack the deck in your favor? Bottom line, if you're looking to buy a home in 2024, know that getting pre-approved, pre-underwritten is going to be a key piece of the puzzle. With lower mortgage rates bringing more buyers back into the market, this can help you make a strong offer that stands out from the crowd. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. All right, when we come back, let's see. We've got should you ditch a credit card if you start losing perks, bridging the gaps on the road to home ownership, and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Should you ditch a credit card if you start losing perks is our question of the day. Your most loved credit card just cut one of your favorite perks. What's your next move? Do you keep the credit card even though they've just lost a major feature? Or should you close it and risk damaging your credit? The answer isn't so cut and dried. Here are a few things to consider. The annual fee. Best rewards cards come with an annual fee, something you have to consider as you decide whether to keep a credit card or let it go. Weigh the annual fee against the remaining credit card benefits. Will you take advantage of them frequently enough? Are they valuable enough to justify paying the annual fee? If you're only left with features you'll rarely use, keeping the card may not be worth the cost. The ongoing rewards also factor into your decision. Can you earn enough each year to make the fee worthwhile? Reviewing how much you've previously earned on this card can help you here. Consider closing the card if you'll only earn just enough rewards to break even on the annual fee. The impact to your credit. Closing a credit card is risky because of the potential impact to your FICO scores. When it comes to your credit, there are a few things to keep in mind when you're deciding to keep a card or close it. Your oldest credit card boosts your credit age by showing you have more experience using credit. High limit credit cards can up your FICO scores and help you land high credit limits on other credit cards you apply for. Closing a credit card, especially one with a balance, can have a big impact on your credit utilization and your FICO scores. How closing a credit card affects your FICO scores depends on a number of factors. If you have a major loan or credit card application coming up, it's smarter to wait until after you're approved to close any credit cards. Do not lose your rewards. If you ultimately decide to close your card, keep it open long enough to use up any remaining rewards. Otherwise, you'll forfeit your rewards if you ditch your credit card before using them. Cash rewards are fairly easy to use. You can simply redeem them for a statement credit or a deposit to an eligible bank account. Consider transferring points or miles to another loyalty program or redeem them for a gift card if that's an option. Another option, you may not have to close your card. You can ask your card issuer for a product change where you switch to another credit card from that same issuer. Before switching, confirm how the account will appear on your credit report. You want it to be continuation of your existing account rather than an entirely new one. This way you keep the account age and payment history and get a credit card that's a better fit. You may need to use any unredeemed rewards before the product change is complete. Ask your card issuer whether you'll keep your rewards so you can use or transfer them if necessary. Bottom line, if you have your FICO scores in mind, closing a credit card has no benefit to the score. If you opt to keep the card, be sure to use it periodically to keep it open and active. Don't forget, pay it the right way. Keep it active. rsrccpayment.com. rsrccpayment.com. We show you how to do this the right way for FICO scoring purposes. And yes, I'm talking to you, the person that says, I pay my credit card off in full every month. That may not be the right way to do it. Yes, pay it off in full is great. When you pay it off, might have an effect on your FICO score, and we show you that. rsrccpayment.com. rsrccpayment.com. That's your Credit Matters segment brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com. rsrdebtfree.com. Let's see. We've got Real-Time Real Estate brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Bridging the gaps on the road to homeownership. Homeownership is a major part of the American dream, but the path to achieving this dream can be quite difficult. While progress has been made to improve fair housing access, households of color still face unique challenges on the road to owning a home. Working with the right real estate experts can make all the difference for diverse buyers. It's clear that achieving homeownership is more challenging for certain groups because there's still a measurable gap between the overall age U.S. homeownership rate and that of non-white groups. Today, Black households continue to have the lowest homeownership rate nationally. And again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials with ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you are seeing a chart of homeownership rate. Homeownership is an important part of building household wealth that can be passed down to future generations. According to a report by the National Association of Realtors, NAR, almost half of Black homeowners in 2023 were first-time buyers. That means many didn't have home equity they could use toward their home purchase. That financial hurdle alone makes buying a home more challenging, especially at a time when affordability is a major concern for first-time buyers. Jessica Lotz, Deputy Chief Economist at NAR, says, quote, "It's an incredibly difficult market for all home buyers right now, especially first-time home buyers and especially first home buyers of color," unquote. Because of these challenges, there are several down payment assistance programs specifically aimed at helping minority buyers fulfill their homeownership dreams. The 3x30 program offers valuable resources for Black buyers, making it easier for them to secure a down payment and buy a home. For Native Americans, Down Payment Resources highlights 42 U.S. homebuyer assistance programs across 14 states that make homeownership more affordable, providing support with down payments and other costs. Fannie Mae provides down payment assistance to eligible first-time homebuyers living in Latino communities. Even if you don't qualify for these programs, there are many other federal, state, and local options available to look into, and a real estate professional can help you find the ones that best meet your needs. For minority home buyers, the challenges that remain can be a point of pain and frustration. That's why it's so important for members of diverse groups to have the right team of experts on their side throughout the home buying process. These professionals aren't only experienced advisors who understand the market and give the best advice, they're also compassionate educators who will advocate for your best interest every step of the way. Bottom line, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's chat about your goals. There are many, many down payment assistance programs. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. If you're thinking about buying a new home, there are lots of ways of getting a game plan together. And it's surprising, there are a whole lot of folks out there who don't realize that they could probably buy right now, that they've got the qualifications to buy a house. They just think, oh, I got to get 20% down. No, you don't. Our friends at Geneva Financial have a down payment assistance program that you're looking at maybe half to 1% down. 1/2 of 1% to 1% as your down payment. It's an FHA loan with some down payment assistance. There are programs out there that even the down payment assistance might be turned into a grant if you hold the loan long enough. And as you know, I am part of the #1 team in America for Homes for Heroes. So active and retired military, first responders, educators, medical professionals. There are programs out there for you as well. Lots of different options here that can help you achieve your goals. The question is, are you willing to make a phone call and explore those things? If you remember, I've told you this before. The average down payment, I think last year, was like 8%. First-time home buyers, it's even less than that. Veterans, you have a 0% down payment if you're eligible under the VA home loan program. And as you know, I think that's the best home loan program out there. And our friends over at OBMMI report that locked yesterday at 6.409. So call it 6.41. With no down payment, it's going to cost you less to get into a new home than to start a lease. Think about those things. Now, give me a call. Let's get a game plan together. As always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.